Hey guys, Marisa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Today I've got shortcut card sketch number 17 for you. If you did our annual catalog and March Online Exclusives paper sampler, this is video number 2. Well, really maybe video number 3 because we had 2 shortcut card sketch number 16 special editions. I'll make sure I link them all together for you. And we are introducing shortcut card sketch number 17. This is our card today. I love this with the healing hugs. It's a new stamp set and new to me too. I had to put it together in order to do this video. It's a nice cling rubber stamp set, 8-piece set, and it's an online exclusive from Stampin'. So today we're going to pair up shortcut card sketch number 17 with some things that you've gotten in your paper sampler if you joined us for the annual catalog and online exclusive paper sampler. We are using the Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper and the classic basic beige ribbon and the strawberry slush and pretty in pink gems. These are items that you would have gotten in your paper sampler if you did the sampler and sketch series with either the PDF or the laminated and PDF sketches. So we're going to start out today with our designer series paper from the sampler. I've got a 3x3 and a 1.5 by 3. Those are B and C. My level A today is soft seafoam, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I'm going to get really crazy and I'm going to add a layer to this. Now, that's the thing with the shortcut card sketches. You can go ahead and make them your own. It's a place to jump in. We always say it's inspiration for you. It's not the end all. So when I started designing this, I had this piece of plaid soft seafoam cardstock. It was already embossed and it was sitting in my scrap bin. So that's what inspired me to add a layer. I'm going to try something a little different for this one. We're going to do 4 by 5.25, and I'm going to emboss this one with this eyelet embossing folder, 3D embossing folder. I had the plaid in the scrap bin, but then when I was looking at the theme of the card, I thought this eyelet kind of reminded me of like a quilt or maybe a duvet, bed linens of some sort. So we're going to give that one a try this time. And I'm going to get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and 1 and 4. This is a 3D embossing folder. Let's put some texture on that and see how it turns out. The kind of arching theme of this card was using up some things that I had in my scraps. So that's going to be part of the challenge here. I want to see your shortcut card sketch number 17 cards on the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social. We love to see what you're doing. Let's go ahead and put some of these layers together. I'm going to take and adhere our eyelet embossed panel. We'll just pop that on there centered. And then we can go ahead and add B and C with the same adhesive. All right. Let's get the back side of this one. And I'm going to put these right next to each other. I'm not going to overlap them for this design. You can absolutely overlap just a little bit if you want to. I'm going to put right over it so that there's a seam, but that's okay because D is any shape of your choice, and I have a radiating circle. I cut this one from basic white cardstock using the Spotlight on Nature dies. It's this 2 3/4 inch radiating circle, and we can go ahead and adhere that to our card front also, and that's going to mostly cover that seam. Get that guy on there. I've done a little bit more die cutting ahead of time, and actually really I found these in my scraps. So I've got a little label here, and I cut that one from Granny Apple Green, and I used let me show you, it's While Supplies Last, the Lovely and Sweet Dies. So last I looked, this was still in stock. The Lovely and Sweet Dies were $32. They're now looks like $9.60 is what they're down to. And I love the little tab and the tag in here. That's where that one came from. And I've got some Darling Duckling flowers. These are punched with the Petal Park Builder Punch, which is also Last Chance and While Supplies Last. I love this for making little embellishments. There's 3 sizes on the punch. That's the small and medium. There's also a large. I'm not going to use the large flower today, but that's what the Petal Park Builder Punch does. And I had punched out a bunch of Darling Duckling for another project and didn't finish using them, so we're using up my extra pieces here. And then I have a few more little things here. This is Lemon Lime Twist cardstock, and I cut some leaves. And for this, I used my pears. So we're featuring Perfectly Pears in Card Club for Cool People next month. And I love this little branch for the pears or for flowers or for whatever you want. But the 2 end leaves are the perfect little 2 leaves to put with any flower dies or punches in your collection. So that's what I did there. And if you haven't seen our Card Club cards, or even if you have seen them before, you're going to want to see them again, let me give you a quick sneak peek of our Perfectly Pears cards. We had a last minute little design switch. Don't worry, we're going to keep the Secret C version of the cards in the alternate section of our pears. We had done them with Secret C, which I thought was very striking, but a little bit dark. We were losing my favorite pattern paper. So we are doing still the Perfectly Pears, still with the SIP Celebration Designer Series paper, that same freesia ribbon, the same shimmer gems, right? But we're going to do them on freesia card bases. So this is Card Club for Cool People, July. You have to be subscribed by July 5th to get this packet. And the link is in the description below to subscribe. And it's 2 of each, 3 cards, and some brand new sketches coming in Card Club. Card Club will get some of these sketches first this time. All right, couple other little things here. I've got a heart, and this is die cut using the Hearts of Elegance dies from two-tone cardstock. If you haven't seen our two-tone cardstock sampler, you might want to grab that up. There's the dark side. There's the light side, and we're going to use that light side. You've got a couple of little elements here. The elements are from the More Messages dies, or the More Messages die. So what I do is I run this on white cardstock, and then I put them in a bag, and then when I'm doing a project, I can pick through and get the ones that best fit the greetings that I'm using for this project. So that's our die cutting. Let's go ahead and assemble the flower really quick. I like to use my Stampin' Pierce mat and a little bit of glue dots. Use the Take Your Pick tool to shape my flower. I like to press, make it a kind of a cup shape, press again. This will work with, of course, that Petal Park Builder Punch, which will probably stay in my collection for a very long time because I think these are the best little embellishments. You can make them right out of any scraps that you have on hand. So there's our flower. It's ready to go, all pick and stick. Let's do a little bit of stamping here. We can set our pieces aside for a minute, get some Memento Tuxedo Black, and the Hugs and Healing is a red rubber cling set. So I'm not going to use a Stampin' Pierce mat with it. I'm going to stamp my little dog and cat. Aren't they sweet? And then I'm going to stamp "Hope you feel better soon" on this little oblong tag, a little bit low of center. And then you can, if you want to, mask off one of these little paws and then ink up the other one. But I'll be honest with you, I find it more risky, even a little tedious, to try to mask it and then take the mask off and get it in perfectly the right placement. All you have to do is stamp kind of scratchy like that, and then it's not good. You've ruined your sentiment. So I'm going to stamp it on the side. But then what I'm going to do is fussy cut and add it above my greeting here. You could also mask one of the paws off and stamp one directly above the "Hope you feel better soon." All right, on the inside, we're going to put "You're not alone." So we're going to put on this little banner and just stamp that in the center of this little guy. Now, we're going to go a little bit of glue on "You're not alone." And we're going to add that across this sweet little heart. We'll let that dry for a second. We'll just put it aside to dry. Let's color our dog. I'm going to use Stampin' Blends. And I've got a very colorful quilt here. I've got light granny apple green. I've got strawberry slush and timid tiger. And we're going to make this little patchwork quilt. I'm going to fill every other space. So we get a checker pattern with light timid tiger. All right, then I'm going to fill the remaining spaces with light strawberry slush. All right, then if you like to, you can just stop there, or you can add a little bit of a dark shading around the very edge of the blanket. Maybe any place that the artist made some lines. Your choice. I'm gonna go kind of along where the blanket kind of folds, the fabric folds naturally. I'm picking the bottom side of each of these little squares for that, and then I'll just bring them together with a little bit of light. And I'll do the same thing for the timid tiger squares. All right, last bit for my blanket. I'm going to go with the granny apple green and do the binding. All right, now that my blanket's done, I'm going to do my animals. My doggy's nose is going to be black. I've got the light basic black. And then I'll swipe a little shadow of dark basic black down the left. Got pecan pie for my doggy. I'm going to color him with little scribble. So there could be little white spots left when it's all done. And the texture that you're going to get when you bring in the dark is going to be a little bit furry. I'm avoiding the muzzle. I'm going to leave that white. But his paws are going to be brown. Alright, so I've scribbled in. Then I'm going to scribble in where the artist made some marks, a little bit across the top of the head, where the kitty's leaning, where the blanket would kind of cast a shadow, and then down the other ear where the artist left some squiggles, and where the kitty might cast a little shadow. And then I'm going to go back again with the light and do more scribbles, little circle scribbles. All right, he's ready. Now my kitty's gonna be gray. So I have smoky slate here, and I'm gonna color my kitty, except for the nose, with light smoky slate. And then I'm going to do some dark smoky slate, just where the blanket might cast a bit of a shadow here, where the artist left some lines, and then where the doggy's paw and ear might be casting a little shadow. So there's my dog and cat. We need one more little bit to finish. I've got dark petal pink for my kitty's nose, and then I'm gonna cut this out. I'm also gonna cut out my little paw. I'm gonna cut just about right on the line. And I'm gonna cut one of my little paws out too. And I'm just gonna kind of bubble cut a little white border around it. It's gonna go on that white tag, so it does not have to be perfect, because it's just a little white piece on a white piece. And this is just easier for me than trying to mask the stamp and hit it just right. So you do whatever you do. If you're a very accurate stamper and you want to go ahead and put the stamp to the paper, you can do that. I'm going to dab a little bit of glue. Got too much. That's what the paper's there for. The scrap paper is there for. But a dab of glue, and then add the little paw right on top. How cute. Hope you feel better soon. All right, let's get some dimensionals. I'm gonna pop some dimensionals on the back of my Hugs and Healing friends here. And I'm also gonna put them on the back of my sentiment. Let's bring the card back in here and get our label. Now this label is E, any shape of your choice. And so we're gonna pop that on in the E position. Let's see, maybe about there. And then my little buddy here can come up on dimensionals right about there. And you notice I don't always burnish it down until I'm sure I like the placement of things. And then our Hope You Feel Better Soon tag can go right on the edge there. I'm gonna pick up some leaves right on my flower and add that, right about there. Don't cover your greeting. This one's a little bit long, so I'm going to trim the stem on this and grab another glue dot. Hold on to that on the glue dot for just a minute. Let's grab some of that beautiful beige ribbon. I love this ribbon. It's not really shiny. It's got maybe just a little bit of a sheen to it. We're going to cut it narrow so that it's a little bit more dainty. Let's see. You know what's sometimes easier is to tie a little bow and then cut it off the spool and then cut it in half. Then once I've cut it in half, I like to just run it through my hands and see if there's any strings that are going to come off of it, because that cut end will shred a little bit. And then I'll just stack them and I'll loop, swoop, tuck, and pull. All right, then give it a little finesse and tighten up the center, and then I'll pull the two loops apart to show off that double bow. Love that texture. I love the soft color. It breaks up all the white. but looks really nice with our warm, timid tiger color underneath there on the designer paper. It's just, like I said, a great chameleon. We're going to put it right up against the darling duckling here. It's going to be so pretty. And then we can take our next set of leaf. Uh-oh. Somehow I tore it away from the glue dot. Got the glue dot there. We can lift that and tuck it right in with the ribbon. Give it a finesse. Good. A little long on one end. Let's give it a trim. See, by tying that bow first, you don't take and split more than you're going to use, which is nice because it'll store on the spool nicer if it's not split. All right, we've got that. Let's get some embellishments here. For the center of my flower, I have these pressed flower motifs. I've been using them for flower centers a lot. I really think they look great, especially with this Petal Park Builder Punch. If you've got that one in your collection, grab a pack of these. They are part of the Beautiful Gallery Suite, so they are buy one, get one half off right now. So is the ribbon part of the Beautiful Gallery Suite. We're going to add some of our sparkle gems. These are Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems, and then they've also got a clear with gold. There's a little gold foil in them. They're really beautiful. We've got a wide range there from this kind of deeper pink that we're going to use today, Strawberry Slush, Pretty in Pink, and then a nice neutral clear and gold. I'm going to put just a couple of the pink here. It kind of makes that visual triangle with the pink of our blanket, and I like that. You can do as many or as few as you like. I've got those guys there, and now that is our shortcut card sketch number 17. So I took a few things from my stash. The shortcut card sketch number 17, I used up a label that was in my stash and some flowers that were already punched. I used up that piece, that panel with the plaid, and made a really pretty little card. Let's finish it off really quick with a bit on the inside. So I finished the inside of the card just very simply. You're not alone. There's our little You're Not Alone two-tone cardstock with the banner. Just adds a little something in the corner. You might want to put a little personal message, but you don't have to write quite as much. And look at the way it just finishes everything to really give it some pizzazz. Let's grab our Memento Tuxedo Black ink and those little paw prints again. And what a fun little surprise that is, don't you think? You're not alone. All right, you guys, if you've got any questions about the shortcut card sketch number 17, the card that we made today, our paper sampler and sketch series, you can reach out, Marisa, at kitchentablestamper.com and the shop Stampin' Up! 24/7. Buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.